You think Call of Duty is stronger than ever right now? I don't think so. Lower engagement for Call of Duty. Yeesh. But yeah, they don't really address the revenue decline. I'm guessing Call of Duty is just very hard to grow. World of Warcraft, I think they had a slightly better launch there. Our games are the result of passion and excellence. Whoa, what does that have to do with the Q3 results? Yeah, so cash flow did go down. Microsoft is buying $1.5 billion of cash flow this year for $50 billion. So, virtue signaling, the point I'm making is that Activision had his whole life's work destroyed. The boss shouldn't be dating anyone at the company. All right, so Activision has a ton of cash. Didn't notice that. Doesn't change the game too much though. 15% of the company in cash. All right, let's look at the numbers. So let's see, we've got World of Warcraft, Call of Duty, a lot of great franchises from Activision. So they have product and then they have kind of like subscription. So most of the company has evolved, most of these video game companies have evolved to like a microservices, micro purchases kind of system. Let's see, Activision revenue is down year over year. Oof. Hopefully that's not the beginning of a trend, but we'll see how we look at it. Still better than a movie, right? 75%, 72% gross margin, pretty good. Video games are like the cheapest entertainment gross margin, or the best entertainment gross margin you can find. You don't have to pay any actors or any talent, right? Product development, so this is basically R&D, which is kind of should just be capitalized, right? I'm surprised it isn't. All right, pretty great margins, I have to say. So obviously, I think everybody knows the story of Activision. They had a crisis in the workplace, harassment and other bad activities, and they agreed to sell themselves to Microsoft. That deal is being challenged by the Federal Trade Commission. Microsoft already has a position in this industry with Xbox and other products, so it could be an anti-competitive deal. We'll see. I hope Microsoft wins, of course. I love Microsoft. I have since I was a little kid, who's been a fanboy of the great success of Bill Gates and company, the evil empire. So there's Activision income statement. Let's do cash flow. Let's do a bridged cash flow. Yeah, so cash flow did go down. I mean, that's not some accounting trickery. Cash flow dropped a lot. So Microsoft is buying $1.5 billion of cash flow this year for $50 billion. So I'm sure it'll go back to the old number, which is around $2 billion. And for Microsoft, maybe it doesn't make a difference. I don't know. Let's look at CapEx too. I'm sure they have a little bit. I mean, it's a software company, so they shouldn't have too much CapEx, but a little bit of CapEx. Yeah, very, very, very small amount. Almost inconsequential, basically. Isn't that nice, having a business like that you have no capital equipment, it's just a bunch of people and software and brands. Brands are the most valuable thing. Pretty cool. Pretty cool business if you can get it. And it's funny, Activision was built by this guy, Bobby. And, I think basically there's been this crisis of confidence that he's the right leader to lead this company in an era where, workplace behavior is really supposed to be conducive to positive work experience, which I think it should be. Nobody should feel weird about coming to work or scared or intimidated in any way, shape, or form. Any of that stuff. I think that's really disgusting, to be honest. I've never had something like that in one of my workplaces, at least to the best of my ability. It tends to be a pretty pernicious problem in general across corporate America. But you have to have like a bit of a zero tolerance policy, and I think Activision probably failed in that regard. But anyway, what's done is done, and basically Microsoft's going to come to the rescue. And Microsoft probably has best practices on how to operate an office. Activision had all kinds of booze and stuff like that. It tends to not be a good idea. All right, let's see here. Net income. Okay. This is, oops, let me see here. Yeah, okay. Kind of do a free cash flow here, but the recent quarters, it's very lumpy. Well, it's not lumpy because those are 2 quarters in one, so let's fix that and we'll get a better sense. One more quarter. Virtue signaling. Listen, the point I'm making is that Activision had, and this guy Bobby had his whole life's work destroyed because his office had some harassing women. And if you don't think that's a real thing, it's a real thing. That's not a meme. Women are very serious about their workplace, and you can have your company ruined over something that simple. If you're going to manage a company, you got to manage it in a way that works for everyone, not just you and your buddies and the boys in the company. That's not going to make you the big bucks in the end. So he had to run into Microsoft to save him. And Microsoft is happy to save him. But, I'm sure he didn't want to sell the company. He would have sold it already, But basically the board of directors said, somebody's got to step down. There's a Wall Street Journal article coming out every day. Every day there's a new Wall Street Journal article coming out about how the workplace environment at Activision was poisonous, disastrous, dangerous, lecherous. I am just a realist. If that's the kind of business environment you're creating, something's gonna happen, whether it's a lawsuit or some other bad situation you don't want to be in. You want to be able to focus on your business and succeed, not dealing with the Wall Street Journal. So even if you don't like it, which, again, the virtue signaling part is maybe, you should be sensitive to all of your employees' needs. I don't think that's virtue signaling. That's just good management. If you just focus on the business and forget about the virtue of it, you don't want those distractions from reporters buzzing in your ear, and it hurts your customers. It hurts think about their vendors, think about, some of their employees, if not all of their employees, will care. They did a walkout, that's not good. All kinds of problems there. So, and they're not the only game studio that has an issue. Yeah, it sounds like this is a male dominated environment. And if you're a woman working in that space, it can be pretty disastrous. Now, workplace tension in general is very hard to deal with. I mean, I've seen it firsthand. Thankfully, I've never participated in it. Never once dated somebody from one of my companies. Can't say I wasn't tempted. And I don't think anybody should, to be honest. But many people now meet in the workplace. I'm pure 𝗲𝗟𝗘. No, I mean, if you can't find a woman outside, or a person that you're interested in, we'll put it that way, outside of the office, then I don't know, you got bigger problems. But I think, people who work together, they inevitably have some romance. I mean, that does happen. Oh, so they have Candy Crush. That's where the mobile revenue is coming from. So, is it that much of revenue? Wow. It can't be. They must have mobile games that come up with a lot of revenue too. Several companies ago, I had there's someone in the workplace I was interested in. And I kept it to myself. I never told her. But I thought about, approaching her. And I was just like, geez, I don't know what to do. This is crazy because I'm really focused on the company, not on a relationship. But I was single and I thought about it. And I never said anything, and I left it that way. But the only way I thought it would work if it came up, or the only way I thought it could work, as I said, basically you would have to quit your job. You couldn't work here and date me, it'd be too weird as the CEO. Now, as a guy in accounting, and you want to date somebody in marketing, I still don't like it, to be honest, but it's better than certainly the boss. The boss shouldn't be dating anyone at the company. Do I regret I didn't do it? I mean, no, actually. I'm proud of myself for never mixing. That was the one time it came close. Of course, I think about what could have been and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, there's women everywhere. For me, I don't have to, it's really not something that's a problem. When you grow a big enough company, you get people who have drug problems, alcohol problems, actually. You get people, I had one person who had some weird schizophrenia or something, and she emailed the whole company email. We had everyone at shkreli.drugcompany.com, and she emailed everyone, or maybe she just added everyone one by one. But man, that thing was crazy. She had to be hospitalized. I didn't even know this person. She's like an assistant to somebody. She said she was going to smear our blood on the walls or something. It was really like, whoa. But when you get a big enough company like that, it was wild. One of my close friends, well, I won't talk about that. It's a very sad story. One of my friends one of my coworkers passed away. And that's another thing that happens over time. Learned some of my old friends passing away. You know, that's a real sad situation. But, you know, it happens when you're getting older, you know. Can't do much about it. All right, let's see here. So Activision had substantial annual revenue growth for a while. It looks like that has slowed to a crawl, or maybe even going to be reversing this year. We'll do that math in a second. And we're going to have to figure out why. Could it be the distraction from the Microsoft acquisition? Could it be some delays in shipping product? Could it be losing market share because Call of Duty's old and tired brand they need a new brand to carry the day? I mean, we still have a lot of revenue from World of Warcraft. That's kind of a tired brand. Overwatch isn't keeping up with Fortnite and other games. That could be mostly what's going on here. I don't know. But yeah, the business is definitely not what it used to be for Activision. So that's the main thing we're probably going to have to spend some time on. The reason Activision is low beta is it's a merger art play now with Microsoft. Woof! What's going on in Activision? Stock would probably be cut in half if it wasn't for the Microsoft deal. Crash Bandicoot? He's back? All right, a letter from CEO 𝗩𝗲𝗑𝗥𝗩𝗦 regarding the merger. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Team. I wanted to give a brief update on our pending merger with Microsoft. This week, the FTC announced its decision to challenge the deal. This means they will file a lawsuit to block the merger. This sounds alarming, so I want to reinforce my confidence that this deal will close. The allegation that this deal is anti-competitive doesn't align with the facts, and we believe we'll win this challenge. Thanks to the hard work by all of you every day, we're on a strong path, bringing epic joy to players around the world. Okay, with what I believe are the greatest games in our industry. At the same time, the competitive landscape is shifting, and simply put, a combined Microsoft, Activision, Blizzard, I guess this is king, will be good for players, good for employees, good for competition, good for the industry. Our players want choice, and this gives them exactly that. You can read more about specifics on those points in this update we recently shared with you. We believe these arguments will win despite a regulatory environment focused on ideology. Well, that's certainly true. And misconceptions about the tech industry. Okay. Representation data. I'm guessing this is some of the ESG woke stuff that they need to do. Okay, Hearthstone. World of Warcraft Dragonflight. Blizzard and NetEase suspending games in China. I gotta read that. Candy Crush! Another update on the merger. Okay, and here's the Q3 results. Our games are the result of passion and excellence. Okay. Whoa, what does that have to do with the Q3 results? This comes from an environment that required the company be sold that fosters inspiration, creativity, and an unwavering commitment to develop and support our talent. Employees' dedication and teamwork are the heart of an extraordinary workplace. Yeah, pretty extraordinary. That enables the magic embodied in our games. We look forward to continuing to release epic entertainment in service of our global community of players as part of Microsoft, one of the world's most admired companies. I love this. We continue to expect that our transition will close in Microsoft's current fiscal year ending June 2023. We'll see. Tough quarter. Net bookings, in-game bookings. I don't know that bookings and revenue are going to be something that is very different. I mean, kind of Activision. They didn't mention at all. They didn't really mention. They kind of make a small mention. Let's see. Warzone Mobile. I'm sure that's fun. So Overwatch 2 launched 10/4. Based on my impression of gamers, it's not doing very well. World of Warcraft, I think they had a slightly better launch there. But it looks like it hit the end of the quarter. So it should be a good fourth quarter for Activision, I think. Diablo. Diablo 2? Resurrected. Okay. It's amazing the legs that World of Warcraft has, man. This game won't die. But yeah, they don't really address the revenue decline. They have to find a way out of. I'm guessing Call of Duty is just very hard to grow. They definitely need a new game. Back when I was really into the game industry, I used to know about all games before they came out and all that stuff. I don't follow it as closely as I used to. I used to follow everything, go to game dev conferences. I think Modern Warfare 2 didn't really sell. It sold well on release, but it didn't sell through very well, which isn't good. Oh, look at that. Lulu's on. Oh, they hired, I guess I can call her a friend. She joined the board of directors to help clean up Activision. And she said, from serving on the board, I've already worked closely with Bobby, the leadership team, and many more amazing people here. The more I got to know the people in the company, the more impressed I was with the commitment and integrity at every level. It's clear there's a gap between perception and reality, which is daunting but exciting. I see a big opportunity to share the true story of Activision Blizzard with our talented employees and hundreds of millions of players around the world. Plus, where else do you get to play StarCraft for work? Pretty funny. She's really a brilliant woman, actually. I like her quite a bit. She's the perfect person to fix the problems at Activision. All right, so they made 2 other acquisitions. I guess the market really feels like this deal's gonna fall through, right? Lower engagement for Call of Duty. Yeesh. So do you think Call of Duty's gonna die over the long run? I mean, if that's true, Microsoft they're basically buying Call of Duty, right? At the end of the day. What percentage of revenue do you think Call of Duty is for Activision? 20%? 30%? You think Call of Duty is stronger than ever right now? I don't think so. So I don't do 𝗓𝗔𝗟𝗑𝗪 because it's a weird field. I'm not an expert in that, but we're 23% away from the Microsoft price. So if the deal closes, you're basically make 40 or 50% this year, which would be an amazing return. Clearly, the street doesn't think the deal's going to close, right?